Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead in a Box. My name is Leah and I'm super thankful to have you here. My YouTube video last week would not upload to save my life, so there was not a video last week. And I just want to kind of catch you up on what's going on this week and talk to you a little bit about mulching. I mulched half of my garden today. I figure I'll mulch the other half with you all. But the reason I'm mulching is because we have some super cold temperatures coming next week. It's been pretty warm here in Oklahoma, and so I'm afraid it's going to be kind of a shock to my plants. All of the plants I have in the ground are frost hardy. However, mulching is kind of like just putting a blanket on. Like when you're cold and you just want a little blanket, that's basically what mulching is doing for the soil and for your plants. It helps protect the root system from the initial shock of the cold temperatures. So I'm going to mulch my garden today. I just planted some radish, spinach, cilantro. Definitely going to try some cilantro. And I planted some chives. You can always plant radish, greens, salads, things like that. Today I recently just planted the radish, and however this evening I'm going to cover it with mulch, again just to protect the ground because it's bare right this second. If you have any places where you have perennials growing, which are, you know, your tulips, your irises, things like that, well, there's a whole list of perennials that you have, but try to grab some leaves that have piled up somewhere and cover up any bare ground. It will help the bulbs under the ground and just the soil itself. It's like I said, it's like a blanket for it. So super important thing to do. Let's jump in and get started mulching my garden. I'm also going to come in and mulch this. In case you do have a few things growing in your garden, I figure I'll just show you how to mulch whenever there's already seedlings in here versus just bare garden. So as you see, I have little seedlings growing pretty much everywhere in here. In my last YouTube video that never got published, I talked about how the turkeys kind of destroyed this garden. I ended up harvesting all of my turnips out of it and replanting things. So as you see, some things survived, but most things I had to replant. So I am going to come in and mulch real lightly around these radishes, the kale, the mustard greens, things like that. If you do have things growing right now, it's still just a real good idea to mulch around them. And plus, mulching is just adding organic matter back to your garden. So it's beneficial, not only to help it with the cold snap that we have coming, but for just adding organic matter back to your garden. So I am just using leaves that we collected a while back, and they've just kind of sat in a pile. So that's why they look more broken down than what the leaves that are falling out of your trees right now. However, with that being said, the leaves that are falling out of your trees right now do just as good a job as the ones that have been broken down for a while. What I recommend is just after you put them on your bed, go in lightly with a water hose and just kind of water them to weigh the leaves down. Don't soak them, just kind of hit it with a water hose. That way the leaves, if winds come, things like that, the leaves are less likely to blow away. So using leaves is a great mulch. Some people use straw or hay. I used straw back in the summer, but I found that there's just a lot of seeds in it, and so I found myself even though in the wintertime weeds are a little less likely in the summertime, so but however there was still seed growing from the straw. So I've just found that when I use leaves, it's just as easy. They break down a lot faster than what straw or hay does. And right now, this is totally okay for Oklahoma. I'm in zone 7B. Even though the temperatures are supposed to get like 25, 22 for a couple nights in a row, I'm gonna just go on. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that just mulching is gonna be enough. I don't have anything to cover my garden beds with, like a row extender or anything like that yet. And really, generally last year I didn't need anything like that until after January. So everything out here is frost hardy. It will acclimate to the cold temperatures that are coming. I just put the mulch down to help it so it's not as a shock to them. So like I said, leaf, straw, hay, anything of that nature you can just toss out there on your garden. And if it's organic matter, then that's even better. Like I said earlier, it's just feeding your garden. So if you have anything growing, definitely mulch your garden right now. And if you have been on the verge of wanting to grow food, I encourage you to grow some lettuce, grow some radish, grow some mustard greens, some collard greens, turnips, things like that. One thing I want to say about turnips right now though, and some of your other root crops like carrots, you know, we're losing the amount of daylight in a day. The sun is not out as long, so everything is going to grow slower than what it would in the summertime. So keep that in mind, that you may not get turnips until next spring, but you'll at least get the greens off of them. And you might actually get turnips, because some varieties, if you choose to grow them, are only like 30-35 days, and they're frost hardy. So anyway, thank you so much for coming and catching up this week with me, talking a little bit about mulching. I hope that if you are growing food, comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're growing, where you're at. I appreciate all of you for being here and just following along with my journey, and understanding that some weeks there's just not a YouTube video because electronics. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't love good electronics? But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. If you're not following us on social media, go check us out on Instagram and Facebook, where there's pretty much daily content on the homestead over there. As always, I'm sending you good vibes. Send some good vibes to somebody that you know, and I will see you all later next week.